Hi everyone, I made it. Top of the hour. Welcome to the Bright Side on Instagram with me, Isha Sesay. Very excited to have you with me and for today's conversation about life, lockdown, finding joy, holding it together. We are going to be joined by the one and only supermodel Grace Mahary, who is going to share insight into her life and what she's doing. If you were watching the show over on Facebook Live just now, you probably saw the clip with her. She is becoming a sommelier and is having a cheeky glass of wine at 5 p.m. most days. This I want to hear about. I want to know how I can make that part of my life, because that's what they call #life goals. So she's going to be joining me for that, to talk to me about that, to take your questions, and just generally, this time we spend together on Instagram for the Bright Side. It's just us hanging out, trying to make sense of it all, seeking inspiration and encouragement. And Grace Mahary is and it's also me trying to find Grace so I can add her. Harry, she's coming through. She's coming. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good. What an intro. Thank you.
First of all, you're welcome. But can we talk about this? Have you got some wine with you? What's going on?
Okay, so it's water right now.
Are you really having a cheeky glass of wine, as one would say in the UK, at 5 p.m. most days? Because I just want like to know how I can make that part of my life.
Why, yes, I am. To answer your question, I am. And for myself to feel better about it, it is for educational purposes. However, I don't know anyone who is sipping anything, very forward or whatever the case may be at a reasonable hour every day, or breakfast. I don't know.
I love this. So, okay, just in case people didn't see the video that you sent us earlier, you are learning how to become a sommelier.
Yes. So.
Okay, why, how, when, what?
I should probably phrase this, or at least put this in perspective. Everything that I do has been to bridge gaps in society. So whether it's, leveraging my modeling platform for electricity, or it's highlighting, different types of wine producers around the world, it's about just creating experiences that make people feel more connected. And with wine, I just remember, being of age at 21 in America and just not feeling confident looking at a wine list. And I thought, oh, here we go. Another reason to feel uncomfortable in these very affluent spaces. And it's a load of, I don't know if I can swear on this, but
you can swear. I mean, this is an adult friendly space. So yes. Great. So if you have your kids in the room,
forgive me, but it's a load of shit. Like, you
I agree.
Have some type of degree or some type of bank account number to enjoy a good beverage. And quite honestly, being from Africa and the continent, like all of the countries in the continent, we have the best food. We need to have the best pairings with our food. Like, none of this nonsense. So we should.
When did you start this?
So I started taking courses. I mean, I've always been a lifelong, I guess, in the last 10 years, wine enthusiast, but I started studying 4 years ago. I took my first course. And then last year I quit modeling for 3 months and just went to school and got my certified license.
No way. Yeah. So what does that involve? Is that just like, you start drinking at 8 a.m.? What does that actually involve? I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to see if it's for me, whether after journalism, this is the next.
I wouldn't be mad at you. I would think we need more representation in the industry anyway, so I welcome
I can't hold my liquor, Grace. It's not a good look.
Well, fortunately, wine is a less percentage of alcohol than heavier spirits. But so in school, I'll give you the recap of the hardest parts. Yes, you are up in the morning and you're tasting wines. No, you are not drinking them. You are spitting them out. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. And people were maybe swallowing it, but I don't know how you survive the class like that. And then you spend a good portion on theory. And then an understanding the service. Someone asked if I watched Uncorked. Yes, I did. And that
you did.
Math level.
Okay, so there's the theory, and so now you've taken this, and now that you're in lockdown, you are, expanding. What, I mean, I don't know how to describe what you're doing in lockdown with the wine, but it's for educational purposes.
Yes.
And how is it? Is the wine making life better under lockdown?
It absolutely is. It certainly is. It's pairing well with my food, and to be quite honest, the industry moves so fast that I feel like if I'm not, working in a restaurant, then I'm losing my knowledge on it. So I'm constantly trying to keep up and taste new things. So.
And how are you doing? I mean, the wine aside, which I joke about, but I did also want to tell people that you're studying to be a sommelier. I mean, how is life right now for you? How are you processing what's going on?
I think, we're at least here in North America on week 4 of self-isolation. So I think everyone's kind of like gone through their emotions or however they've dealt with it. So for me, the first week was kind of like, oh my God, what is happening? I guess this is like, we're safe. If you are safe, then I guess this is an opportunity to take some time for yourself and relax. Then the second week was kind of confusion because I wanted to start new projects, but then there are all these questions surrounding the restrictions and limitations to the current situation. And then the last couple of weeks, I just went into full-on online courses that I've been putting off for a while. Just brainstorming ideas with my board members for my nonprofit, because we're on like this, we'll talk about it in a second, but like a really weird space now. And trying to figure out new experiences virtually on how to eat.
Yeah, no, it's true, because it's put a hold on everyone's lives, and yet there were all these things that we had going, and now you just don't know how to pick them up and whether they apply in life after the lockdown. And you mentioned the nonprofit, so let's talk about that. I mean, I know that you've got Eritrean roots. I know that it's really important to you, this element of service, and you have this not-for-profit. You've delivered solar panels to village in the past. I mean, what happens to that? What's happening to those efforts now that we're in lockdown and in a world with coronavirus?
Well, so just to let people who don't know where we work, Project Sahai is a nonprofit that works in mostly right now East Africa, but we work with developing communities around the world. And our efforts have been to provide these clean energy solutions to people that don't have electricity access. And so that means right now our developing project in Ethiopia is on halt. It's just on hold right now. It's been good to talk to the people on the ground every week and just kind of see how they're doing. But the truth of the situation is, Africa is still, the situation is still unfolding in Africa.
Yeah.
So for us to create a new plan while they're trying to figure out what's going to happen, it doesn't make any sense. And one of our pillars is to stand on sustainable solutions. You can't build a sustainable solution if you don't have any certain pillars around it, So we're waiting.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating, because you build all this momentum up and then it just stops.
Right.
And because I have a not-for-profit in Sierra Leone, and we work with adolescent girls, and can't do that work, can't bring kids together now.
Right.
For who knows how long.
Right.
And so all this momentum and all this planning.
What type of work with the adolescent? I'm so curious now. What type of work with the adolescent girls are you doing?
So we're working in space of empowerment, and really just nurturing young leaders. So that's the focus of my organization called Women Everywhere Can Lead, and it's to work with adolescent girls, taking them at high school from age 13 and working with them, helping them develop a sense of self and just reimagine what's possible. But it's just work we can't do right now, and it's just come to a standstill. So, one of the things that I'm trying to make peace with in lockdown is a sense of powerlessness. And I don't know whether it's something you're having to deal with, but some of this is just beyond your control. And I know that that's a challenge a lot of people are having, trying to just accept that this is beyond your control. You can't make it go faster. You can't make this end sooner.
Yeah. And part of that, I think, we're talking a lot about self-discovery in this time and how to self-motivate, but I find myself battling some of these topics because one side of me is very aggressive and wants to build another solution. And I think, you know, if we're not going to be able to power the school right now, let's give the children electricity at home so they can study from home. Great idea, but we don't know how long this is going to last. So, you know, you're really fighting some of your own, almost like your ego in
Yes.
some of it.
Yes.
Because this is forcing you to stay still and to just be still and be okay with if you're healthy, you know, and whatever you have at the moment. So I find it like very challenging, but I'm learning so much in this.
And stillness, how are you with stillness? Because I ask a lot of people that. I mean, your life has been, you know, obviously, apart from the not-for-profit work, your professional life, you know, you're a supermodel. And everything I know about supermodels, which has been from watching America's Next Top Model and things like that, is that you guys are always on a plane. It's here, it's there, it's quick changes, it's this, it's that. Right. And now it's stillness.
Right. I don't like being still. Let's just make that clear. I do not like staying still. I'm talking with my hands because I don't like staying still. But what I honestly I've cherished now, because in the last year, you know, I've always done yoga, but in this last year, I've really tried to focus on meditation because it's so hard. It is so challenging for me to just stop thinking about everything else, everyone else, everything. But I found some guided meditations and I've been working through them, and it's teaching me to appreciate the stillness, because you're right. This is not my normal.
This is not your normal speed. I mean, I feel like there's a grace speed and that one is fast. If you see her coming, you should get out of the way. She's moving on. She's just like
East African runner, gone.
Now, listen, I want to read some of these messages because, you know, again, everyone's watching, and you've got folks. Rico Vieira from Toronto says hello.
Yay, Toronto!
I mean, seriously, you guys get so serious about like this Canadian thing. So serious.
Listen,
it's
we got Drake. Once we got The Weeknd and Bieber, we were like, welcome to Canada.
And don't forget, the Toronto Raptors are the NBA champions right now. Masai Ujiri and his people. So, you know, we've got some African love that we're shouting for Masai and the Toronto Raptors.
And they'll be champions for another year now because of this season being gone. So
I think he'd rather play, though. I think he'd rather play. I don't think he's taking much comfort in that. He's not taking much comfort in that. So people saying active meditation is awesome. Kweku Aka, interesting conversation. The earth is fixing itself. What's happening will be the new normal. I suggest we let our current situation influence our direction.
I agree with that. I know it will. There will be. I just was speaking to someone who works with, they do a lot of these trips. Actually, their company is an expedition company, so they do curated trips around the world, and obviously they're on halt right now. And you know, he's trying to make a new move into social impact. And now if you're going to book a trip with him, it has to be surrounded around social impact. So because, you know, after this, we may be wearing masks everywhere we go. We have to think about how you're affecting the communities you're visiting, which you always should anyway, you know, and a big conversation is about, you know, exploitation of these communities with them. So I'm hoping with the compassion that comes out of this, people will actually this will be the new normal, where you start, if you're traveling around the world, you're traveling less and you're traveling with purpose.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of other parts of the world, and how's your family? I know obviously you've got roots in Toronto, in Canada, but you've got family on the continent. How are folks doing?
So luckily my family's safe all over the world. In Canada, they're okay. My uncle and family in Eritrea are safe. They are practicing restrictions, as are many other African countries. And, you know, I have some family in Germany who are also okay. I think, you know, the biggest thing right now is the media. We're just looking for something positive between communities. So
agreed. I mean, so for you, obviously, as we talk about self-improvement and we talk about stillness, where are you taking inspiration from right now?
Many things. So I've always been big on music.
Okay.
One of my good friends actually just released an album. So getting to, you know, appreciate the music on just a music level, but then seeing an artist, you know, present in this time is very cool. I just ordered a paint. Like I cannot draw or paint for myself, but I'm challenging myself. I just start thinking about things that I want to release, and that's been kind of inspiring for myself. And
that's pretty cool, though. I mean, you must have some desire to be able to paint and to draw if you've gone in this direction. I'm sure it didn't just start today.
I mean, yeah, it's music and paint, draw, that kind of stuff. I just never, again, I've never sat down. I've never been still enough to do it. So,
so would you have a routine? Because again, that's one of the things I've been asking people. I'm mainly using these conversations to just become a better human being. When I have these conversations with people, I'm like, what are they doing that I could take from? Do you have a routine?
I do.
Are you working out, actually? Because I know everyone's going to say, you're talking to a model, you should ask, are you working out?
So last week I didn't work out at all, but that's the nature of the game. I didn't. Now today my jump rope came in yesterday, and so now
you've got a jump rope.
I did. I feel like people are asking for solutions in this time, and I'm like, listen, it is so individual. You can't just follow like this copy and paste memo. You know, my yes, as a model, as a former athlete, I played basketball. I miss playing sports. I crave like a sweat. I want to work out. You know, but there are days, it was rainy last week in California. I didn't want to work out. I didn't. But the routine is important for me. Waking up, trying to meditate for at least 20 minutes, doing some form of exercise if I can. If I don't, then going into my online courses. Like there's a routine that's happening, and it's helping me stay sane.
That's pretty good. I got a jump rope as well. So this is why when you say, I'm trying to like spread the community, say, of jump ropers.
It's the best workout. If anyone there watching right now is asking how to lose weight while they're in quarantine, jump rope.
Jump rope. I see people are laughing. Seriously, the jump rope is where it's at.
They won't be laughing with a nice body by the end of this quarantine if they take this advice. I'm saying.
I don't know. The way I'm eating, I don't think the jump rope is really going to cut it.
Fair.
I think it might be a little challenging, but I'm trying. I'm trying to make it part of my daily routine. I am. I mean, it's just, are you reading anything interesting right now?
Yes. I picked up James Baldwin, Go Tell It to a Mountain.
And wow. I have been meaning to read that. So that's why that was a kind of a, how is it?
It's good, but I don't like being still, so I jump between books, and so I'm also reading Frantz Fanon, Black Mask, White Skin, which is also
I do not know. I mean, do you think the stillness will hold over for you when this all ends, or are you just gonna go right back to grace speed?
I am hoping the stillness continues. Honestly, I think that because of restrictions, I'll have to, but there's something that's stirring inside of me that I like, so I'm going to try to keep it.
And hubby, how's this working? Hubby, I mean, the whole being confined, you haven't killed him yet because you're still having wine. I saw a tweet the other day. It was such a cheeky tweet, and someone said something like, hey, you married people. I think it was like, oh, I don't know whether referencing men or women. Like,
you're not blessed. You're not saying I'm blessed still?
Yes, yeah, you saw it too. You saw it too, and I thought, I was like, people are so rotten, really. But real talk though, I mean, in one place, moving grace speed, and now you're moving at still speed. How is it?
Honestly, it's fine. I haven't killed him. He hasn't killed me. We are fine. It is, it's fun. We actually started learning Spanish on this app. So it's kind of like our happy hour / learning Spanish, cook together, watch a show. It's cool.
I do like this. You found your own kind of rhythm. Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing. I mean, you already knew you didn't like stillness, so what are you learning, or what have you learned about yourself since this all started?
I have learned a few things. I mean, I knew that pressing at insecurities would help me grow as a person in general, but in stillness and in isolation, those insecurities or the anxiety or the stressors are less strong. So, but then when they do come up, it's very obvious as to why, you know, when I'm on social media or if I see something in the news that triggers it. So I'm learning what the triggers are. And it's been pretty cool to see it.
And how are you with the social consumption? Because I've been speaking to more and more people who say, you know, that's all they, I know a bunch of people who aren't even watching TV. They're just on social all the time.
I know. So I think it's a little dangerous just to be on this all the time. I posted something last month when the pandemic was first announced and people were, you know, very, very uncertain of what was going to happen. And it was about limiting your amount of screen time. That's something that we've always talked about, but limiting your amount of social screen time is, I mean, in terms of like social media, I think is super important because like when you turn on the news, it's devastating, you know, you almost have to like brace yourself before you turn on the TV. And also like, I just don't see enough news that relates to our people. So I'm glad. I was really happy to hear that you were doing this and bringing or collecting the news around the continent.
Thank you. It is, you know, I'm the same. I woke up one day and it suddenly hit me like, where are our stories?
Yeah.
There aren't any. And so I was like, well, okay, well, let's do it. So here we are doing this. How do you keep positive? How do you stay positive? How do you stay upbeat?
The routine, honestly, the routine, because for me, exercise is a game changer. It'll entirely shift my mood. And sometimes when I'm not able or I can't get myself out of bed, the routine helps me. If I'm not going to work out, then at least like even just making that oatmeal every day or going straight to like meditate, those little things, the happy hour, those are things that change the game. Like,
why confine it to an hour? I mean, if you're in isolation, if you're in lockdown, I mean, I'd be like, happy afternoon, happy breakfast.
That's real. Like that there's a real concern about where people are going on consumption and for that reason,
everybody needs to know their limits, folks. Because this lockdown is going to end and you're going to have to resume back to productivity of some sort. So know your limit. You don't need
to like drink to do this. You don't need to go to comfort foods. Even just calling someone that you love and laughing with them. The humor that brings positivity out of you has helped so much.
I'm not sure I'm down with you about the lack of comfort eating though. Not sure. Not sure I'm gonna put my name to that one. I'm gonna let you have that one all to yourself. I didn't say I
wasn't either, but I'm just saying, people don't want to do it, fine.
I'm just saying. Someone just I'm not sure what. Can you read that language? I don't know whether that is Amharic or.
No, that is definitely not Tigrinya or
Amharic effect.
I don't know Amharic is okay. Ethiopia, but I don't think that is.
I don't think it's okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like sent to you and I'm just gonna say I can't read that. If people are having a tough time right now and trying to just make their way through, what and they were to call you up, well, what would you say? What are your words of comfort during these? Because these are tough times because we just don't know what life is going to look like afterwards. And for a lot of people, these projects they've been working on, maybe that's it. I mean, nobody really knows. What do you say to folk who are having a rough time?
The first thing I say, because I have friends that are, yes, we call each other and they've said certain things like that. And the first thing I do is remind them that it's not just you in this situation. It's the whole world. So if that can, because sometimes it was like, you know, oh, I'm going to lose everything and everyone else is going to be okay. And I'm like, no. Like maybe no one will be okay. So just remember that you're not alone, first of all. Number two, I try to find humor for them and I try to figure out like, what is it that is triggering this? Because obviously the devastating fact that you may lose everything, it already exists. But what is it around that you still care about or that you still are grateful for? Because yes, everyone is preaching gratitude, but it takes a very, you know, strong-willed person to find what they really appreciate in the time of severe disaster. And then I might send them like a good song or wine pairing or a movie.
So what song are you sending? Okay, so I'm the one who needs to pick me up. What song are you sending?
Ooh, so I'm listening to Air by Gary Gunn, and
Okay.
right now another one by him, Am I Human? And then
Okay.
I can never pronounce this group's name, Carabonin, something, something. Anyway, they did a collaboration with Leon Bridges, and Texas Sun is the album, and that album's
Oh,
great.
is it good? Okay, I love Leon Bridges, so I will check that out. And in terms of my wine pairing, what would I be getting in my comfort basket?
Ooh, I just had a lovely Pinot Noir from Scribe, a winery in California,
Mm-hmm.
and I would pair that with, I had it actually, I think I had it with it was like a lightly roasted salmon with some, it was like, we literally picked all the vegetables in our fridge and put them together, Brussels sprouts, carrots, and yeah.
It was a mashup.
It was a mashup, yeah.
And who's doing the cooking right now? Is anyone owning that, or you guys just move it?
I think that's why it works, is we both are in the kitchen. We kind of like just take turns. So I mean, it's so boring. People are looking for drama in the household. We don't have
We
it.
don't need drama. Listen, there's enough drama out in the world. I'm just looking for people who are with people who are just who found a sense of peace, and it's just like how what can we take from that? How do we extract elements to apply to our lives? I don't think anyone. Well, I certainly hope no one's looking for drama right now.
We just, we're looking we go to the grocery store once a week.
Are you still going? You're not having your groceries delivered?
No, because they're so backed up. So we take our masks, we go into the grocery store, we practice all the measure. That's the only thing that we do outside. So, and then we come back and we try to literally go through every single piece that we've bought and make something out of it.
So when was the last time you were outside?
Well, there's outdoor space on the
okay, but I mean out in the out amongst the general, because I haven't been out in over a week, and you get to that point where you just you walk outside and you're a bit like,
yeah, no, I know, but people are, I mean, at least in our this area neighborhood, they're friendly and they're smiling and they're like happy to see other humans. Like at least they're 6 feet away, but they're happy. I think it's Sunday. We went grocery shopping. Today's Thursday. Yes.
yeah. That's the other thing. Who knows what day it is anymore?
I don't know.
And it's like I just have no idea what's going on. But essentially, you said people see each other and they're happy to see another human being. Yeah, in my apartment complex. So I have to say, when people are approaching, everyone just looks at each other with a sense of trepidation. It's really just. It's true though. It's literally like a bunch of people. Everyone's just a bit like, go over there.
Oh Lordy, we'll see what happens, because I truly miss being able to like hug and greet. In our culture, we greet people with 3 kisses, and it's a whole.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean that's the thing. As we read, this is Amber. Amber Winniger says, "I keep forgetting the day like homie. I still thought it was Wednesday."
Yeah, Amber, same.
I wake up, the team's constantly like, no, you said the wrong day. It's not that day. It's you need to get with it. Like you at least need to pretend you know what day it is. That is the one thing I think I will miss, if this is the way we're to live for the foreseeable future. The inability, the being tactile, the hugging, yeah, I'm very tactile. I mean, the thought that becomes something that causes apprehension makes me sad.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that yet, because I get it. Like if you have someone at home who's very vulnerable, I would be protecting myself. I wouldn't hug or shake anyone's hand, just because that's the fact. You're trying to protect your people. But if you're safe, come hug me.
Grace will be waiting. All hugs taken here. All hugs accepted. I mean, let's just hope. Who will Grace be when this is all over? Final question. How will you change? How will you?
I hope the Grace post-pandemic and post-isolation is able to stay still in the way that she's been forced to be now. And I hope that I, continue to make decisions that are conscious and not just because that's what's been thrown at me.
This is where meditation helps.
Yeah.
Because it's slow, it makes you less reactive.
Yeah.
You know, you become, what is it they say? You become the watcher. You become the watcher of you stand behind the thought and you see the thought. You don't just react to it. That was my only bit of spirituality or spiritualism for the day. So you all need to feast on that. Grace Mahary, it was such a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with me and for sharing books, wine, and music tastes and giving those suggestions. They were much appreciated. And I hope you can hold on to the stillness.
Thank you. I hope that I can at least present it and give it away overseas to you.
You have shared it with everyone. Final words to anyone? Any lasting quote or thought, inspirational thought to leave everyone before we go?
I am terrible with quotes. I would just say go and listen to Gary Gunn's album, The Fourth. It is beautiful. It puts you in a space.
That is a perfect way to end things. We love recommendations on this half hour of chat. So thank you. Be safe, my friend. Be safe.
Likewise.
And take care. Bye for now. Bye, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us.